but it's true.
So here we are, just having a cup of coffee and chatting a little bit. So what is it you want to learn today?
I thought we could talk a little bit about fiduciary advice versus just being put on a sales track. How do you know if you're being left in the dark? How to make decisions when you feel that way?
What to do about it?
What to do about it, yeah.
Okay, it's really hard for people to walk away. When you feel like you're being sold, you need to step away. A lot of us are afraid to offend people, even people we've just met. And as a result of that, we end up putting ourselves in a situation where we have to make difficult decisions, not so much about what they want us to do, but how do we get out of this? I don't know if you've ever sat in a conversation with somebody and go, man, how do I get out of this one? But a lot of times it happens when you seek advice and you find out you're really meeting with the wrong person. Here's the number one key for me about, am I meeting with the right person? And that is, I really don't know enough about what it is I need to decide. So I have sought out someone to tell me what I need to know. And if they start talking to me about buying things before I really understand what my situation is, if I feel like I'm still in the dark about what I need to do, and I'm just listening to someone tell me about what they do, then I think that that's probably a sales track and not something where they're trying to help me with advice. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so that's what I think a lot of people, we get stuck in that. And I think the other side of that, the person who's in the sales position, they get stuck in that too. Because maybe their lifestyle, their whole livelihood is really on generating commissions. And as a result of that, it puts a lot of pressure on them, and they want to get to that part as soon as possible. And maybe subconsciously or unconsciously, they are skipping over that part, and they don't mean to. And so it's like, we need a partnership here. When we're communicating, it's like, let's have a conversation. Like right now, I'm kind of monologuing with you, but I want a conversation with the person I'm seeking advice from. I just don't want to hear this going on and on and on. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. So what can people do if they feel like their advisor is kind of skipping over those parts? What can average people do to quell against that?
So you just, hold your hands up and literally say, whoa, wait a minute. Let's just stop. Let's stop about what you're talking about, and let's go back to why I came in here. Because I feel like we've gotten away from why I'm here. What I'm here for is to get educated. I would like to understand what it is I need to know. And then whatever I need to know, I would like to make a decision based on that. And if there's a solution you offer, then great, I'm all ears about that solution. But not until I understand, not until I know what I need to know. I think that too many industries, the sales track that they provide their professionals, too many industries intentionally leave the customer in the dark. And it's like you're sitting in this room that they turn out the lights and they close the door and there are no windows. And then every once in a while they speak through a loudspeaker and they say something like, hey, you're okay, or hey, you ought to do this, or hey, you ought to get that, or hey, you ought to give up doing that. And whatever it is they want to say through that loudspeaker is that's all you hear, but you're still in the dark. You have no idea where you are, emotionally or financially or strategically. You have no idea where you are, and you're trying to figure a way out. The person who actually turns on the light, the person who actually opens the door, the person who actually pulls up the window shade, and by golly, there is a window in here, and you can begin to see where it is you are, what it is that you need to be thinking about, and what it is for you personally that makes you feel better. That if you do this, this is what's going to help you not only move forward in whatever it is you're trying to decide, but you're going to feel good about moving forward. And I think that's where you can tell the difference between what's a sales track and what's fiduciary. A fiduciary is going to find out what is in your best interest. A fiduciary is going to help you connect with that emotionally. It's going to resonate within you. And then you're going to have enough information where you see the alternatives, and you're going to be able to make a decision that's best for you and for your family in that situation, as opposed to just some generic thing. I think that's the difference. You're taken out of the light, out of the dark. You're taken out of the dark and you're put into the light, and you can see what it is you need to do.
And so if you're getting advice based on your values, your goals, your dreams, then you know that you're being given fiduciary advice versus just a generic, I'm I'm just trying to sell you this product
Right.
and make my commission and send you home.
Right, and it's not so much, that's an expression of values also. The salesperson has their set of values. So if you start listening closely, they may start talking more about what's important to them as opposed about what's important to you. And again, that unintentionally or intentionally, that begins to cloud what it is you're supposed to do for your family. What you're really hearing is what he or she needs to do for his or her family. And that's really the dividing line between you're on a sales track or you're on a fiduciary track. Is it best for you? Is it best for them? Listen closely and you'll be able to tell.